Let me guess. You're lying there, your eyes half closed, scrolling through Instagram, TikTok, or whatever's caught your attention this time. You've already told yourself, just one more video, but here you are, 40 videos deep and questioning your life choices. Sound familiar? You're not alone. Millions of people are trapped in the same cycle, their thumbs moving faster than their brains can process.
But why?
Why can't you just stop scrolling? First, let's make one thing clear. Your inability to put your phone down isn't a flaw in you. It's a feature of the apps you're using. Behind every social media platform is a team of engineers and psychologists working tirelessly, not to make your life easier, but to keep you scrolling. Here's how it works. Every app you use is carefully designed to reward your brain with dopamine, the same chemical that gets released when you eat chocolate or win a jackpot. Every like, comment, or notification you get triggers a tiny ping of pleasure. It's addictive and they know it. In fact, tech companies have openly admitted they design these platforms to exploit your brain's reward system. Imagine a lab rat pressing a lever to get a treat. That's exactly what happens when you check your phone for notifications or refresh your feed. Except you're not getting food. You're getting validation, entertainment, or distraction. And unlike the lab rat, you've got infinite treats at your fingertips. Let's talk about those little red notification badges. Why red? Because it's the color of urgency. It's the same reason stop signs and fire alarms are red. It grabs your attention. These apps aren't just passive tools. They're built to pull you back in, even when you've got better things to do. And then there's the algorithm. Think of it as a digital hypnotist, studying every tap, pause, and like to figure out exactly what will keep you hooked. Start watching one cat video, and suddenly you're in a rabbit hole of animal rescues, life hacks, and top 10 things you didn't know about bananas. The algorithm's goal? To make sure you never leave. Now, let's dive into what's happening in your brain. Every time you get a new notification, your brain releases a tiny dose of dopamine. It's like your brain's saying, "That was fun, let's do it again." But here's the catch. The more you scroll, the less effective those dopamine hits become. It's like building a tolerance to a drug. What used to feel satisfying now barely registers, so you keep scrolling in search of that next big hit. This constant craving for dopamine rewires your brain. It trains you to seek instant gratification, which makes it harder to focus, be patient, or even enjoy activities that don't offer immediate rewards. Reading a book? Too slow. Spending time with friends? Not as exciting as a viral video. You're literally reshaping your brain to crave the quick fix. But the effects of screen addiction go beyond your brain. Think about how it's affecting your relationships. How many times have you been in a conversation only to get distracted by your phone? Or worse, how many times has someone tried to talk to you while you're too busy scrolling? It's not just rude, it's damaging. Studies show that people who spend more time on their phones report feeling lonelier, less connected, and less satisfied with their lives. And yet, the cycle continues. Let's not forget the physical risks. Ever walked into a wall because you were texting? Tripped over a curb because you were watching a TikTok? You're not alone. Screen addiction doesn't just steal your time, it also puts you in harm's way. Literally. Then there's your overall well-being. The more time you spend glued to your phone, the less time you have for exercise, hobbies, or even basic self-care. Before you know it, you're not just losing hours, you're losing yourself. You might be thinking, okay, I get it, but why is it so hard to stop? The answer is simple. It's not just a habit, it's an addiction. And like any addiction, breaking free requires more than willpower. It requires understanding how the system works and then taking steps to beat it at its own game. You've made it this far, which means you're ready for change. Good news, it's absolutely possible to break free from screen addiction. But let's be real, it's not going to happen overnight. Just like training for a marathon, it takes time, effort, and a plan. Don't worry, I've got you covered with practical, actionable steps that actually work. Ready? Let's dive in. Step 1. Set boundaries with your phone. First things first, you need boundaries. You wouldn't let a pushy friend interrupt you 300 times a day, right? So why let your phone? Start by setting specific times when you'll use it. For example, no phones during meals, before bed, or while you're working. And here's a big one. Turn off unnecessary notifications. Do you really need to know every time someone posts a cat meme? Probably not. Go to your settings and disable alerts for non-essential apps. Trust me, it's life-changing. Step 2. Replace scrolling with intentional activities. Here's the thing about breaking habits. You can't just stop doing something. You need to replace it with something better. Instead of scrolling, pick up a book, start journaling, or take a walk. Even something as simple as doodling can give your brain the break it needs without a screen. And if you're feeling ambitious, try learning a new skill. Remember all those hobbies you said you'd pick up someday? Well, today is that day. Knitting, painting, baking, salsa dancing, anything that keeps your hands busy and your mind engaged is a win. Step 3. Use technology to fight technology. Here's an ironic twist. Your phone can actually help you spend less time on your phone. Download apps like Forest, Freedom, or Stay Focused. These tools can block distracting apps, track your screen time, and even reward you for staying off your device. For example, Forest lets you grow a virtual tree every time you stay off your phone. If you're someone who thrives on rewards, this gamified approach can work wonders. Step 4. Practice mindfulness. One of the biggest reasons we're glued to our phones is because we're avoiding something, whether it's boredom, stress, or even loneliness. Mindfulness can help with that. Take 10 minutes a day to sit quietly, breathe deeply, and just exist. It sounds simple, but it's incredibly powerful. By learning to sit with your thoughts, you'll start to crave fewer distractions. Step 5. Build a digital detox routine. Let's talk detox. No, not the juice cleanse kind, the digital kind. Start small. Designate 1 hour a day as phone-free. Then work your way up to an entire evening and eventually a whole day. Imagine this: a Sunday without screens. You could go hiking, cook a fancy dinner, or actually finish that jigsaw puzzle gathering dust in the closet. The point is to remind yourself that life exists beyond the glow of a screen. Step 6. Audit your screen time. Before you can fix the problem, you need to know how bad it is. Go ahead and check your screen time stats. How many hours a day are you spending on your phone? Be honest, it's probably more than you think. Now, imagine what you could do with that time. 3 hours a day could mean learning a new language, starting a side hustle, or finally getting that 8 hours of sleep everyone keeps talking about. Step 7. Declutter your digital life. Next up, decluttering. Delete apps you don't use, unfollow accounts that don't bring you joy, and organize your home screen so it's less tempting. Think of your phone like your closet. If you haven't worn an app in months, it's time to let it go. The cleaner your digital space, the less likely you are to get sucked into mindless scrolling. Step 8. Create no-phone zones. Establishing no-phone zones is a game changer. Start with the bedroom. No phones after a certain hour. Use an old-school alarm clock instead. Then expand to other areas, like the dining room or your workspace. By physically separating yourself from your phone, you'll train your brain to associate those spaces with productivity, relaxation, or meaningful connections, not endless scrolling. Step 9. Reward yourself for progress. Breaking habits is hard, so don't forget to celebrate your wins. Stayed off your phone for an entire evening? Treat yourself. Reached your weekly screen time goal? Go out and do something fun. Rewards create positive reinforcement, which makes it easier to stick with your new habits in the long run. Step 10. Focus on real connections. Ultimately, the best way to break free from your phone is to reconnect with the people and activities that matter most. Call a friend instead of texting. Plan a game night. Volunteer. The more you invest in real-world experiences, the less you'll feel the need to escape into your screen. Breaking free from screen addiction isn't about giving up your phone entirely. It's about using it with intention. When you stop letting your phone control you, you'll find more time, focus, and joy in your life. So, are you ready to take the first step? Remember, every little change adds up. And who knows? You might just discover that life beyond the screen is even better than you imagined.